And we're today joined by Venla Hellstedt, who is a producer in Finland and works with an amazing group of women at Tuffi Films, one of my favorite production companies. I don't say that about all the companies. So Venla studied literature and film in London, and she got her master's in social anthropology from the London School of Economics and Political Science. Woo! In the UK, she worked in docs, drama, news productions at BBC, ITV, and Discovery Channel. And then after 14 years in the UK, I think that's just about where I am in the UK, Venla returned to her native Helsinki in 2009. And there she started working in docs like Frozen Hell, Dance of Outlaws, and Hobbyhorse Revolution, which was a great Tuffi film. And then she produced her first fiction feature, Stupid Young Heart, which you can correct me later if I got that wrong. And that film went to Toronto, won the Crystal Bear in Berlin. And recent credits at Tufi include Games People Play, their first kids film, Sihja, the TV comedy series Carpe Fucking Diem, and more, and some exciting stuff on the horizon as well. So Venla, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, you studied in London, you didn't study film, and then you started working in TV. How did you always think you might end up in film, or did you think you would work in TV, or did you think you were going to be a social anthropologist?
Good question. I actually started already working in Finland back when I was a teenager. My parents had a production company.
Ah.
So my mother is a theater director and my stepdad is an actor. And they had a company together. And already as a teenager, I was working on their, paying wages, calculating the payroll basically for them.
What a good training for a producer to do the payroll. I love it.
Yes, exactly. So back then I didn't think producing was a very exciting job, because, my parents were doing it. And then I went to study in London. I thought I would be an actress for a long time and thought that, okay, if I want to study acting in London, then I have to do a degree first. And literature is what they suggested, like the big good drama schools suggested that is what you should do, would be a really good thing to study. So I got in, I studied literature, and in the second year I did video production course. And that was it. I just fell in love with documentary formats and documentary storytelling and the way that you could manipulate stories as a documentarist. That was really interesting to me. And of course, the real stories I thought that were so much more powerful than fictional stories. So I grew up in theater, so this fiction world has always been very close to my heart, but I needed to find myself first, I think.
Yeah. So do you think, wanting to be an actress, influences the way that you might deal with actors on set now?
Maybe, I don't know. I lost this passion for acting so long ago. And I think to work as an actor, I think you really have to be passionate about it. And
God, there's so much rejection. I don't say how anybody can do it, but
exactly, yeah, that's what it is. And I really admire great actors, and I have friends who are actors. So yeah, maybe I can see the viewpoint from their point of view, the production as well. Maybe you should ask them.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds like you grew up around theater, and was TV sort of a way to just get a proper job at first, and then you always thought you might move more into film, feature films?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah, I was trying to find my way. I didn't know anybody in London. So it was really difficult to find any work. It was really kind of everybody wanted to work in TV back in the in 99 I graduated, so late 90s, early 2000s, it was really popular job, and there were a lot of people who had just also graduated from media studies, and it was really difficult to find. And then eventually I found, through a friend of mine, I found a job in Thames TV, that's now Talkback Thames.
Yeah.
That was my first job in British TV.
It's amazing that I mean, it's so hard, even if you're from the UK, to break into some of these places and to work with the BBC and ITV, and it's amazing. So after you've been in the UK, what was the timing right to go back to Helsinki? Why did you want to make that move back?
I never thought I would stay so long, it was kind of like, oh, well, I just found this really good job at the BBC or wherever, and I don't want to go back now. I'll go after this. And it was just like, job after another, and then maybe I go back. It's not going to work out, and then I would get some job or this place to study at the LSE. So I didn't plan it like I was going to stay 14 years, but
Yeah.
that's just how it went. And then the time was ripe in 2008, I think, in early 2008. So it took me about 8 months to find a job in Finland.
Yeah.
Coming here for interviews, and of course I didn't want to get a job through my parents' connections. I wanted to do it by myself, and because I didn't study here, I didn't know so many people.
That's true, because usually where your classmates, wherever you studied, then go on and help support you with your networking.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you didn't have that back in Finland. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I found a job. My friend introduced me to people at Art Films, and I worked there for a year, and then I went to work in Illume, which is a documentary production company, and I was there more than 5 years, and then I came to Tufi in 2015.
Okay, so before we talk about Tufi, which I love, what were some of the highlights of the documentaries you worked on at the other company before you went to Tufi?
Yeah, this is a wonderful, long-standing production company that's focusing on documentaries, and they have very anthropological take on documentary filmmaking. And there was such a wealth of experience and knowledge and creative input from these two producers, Jouko Aaltonen and Pertti Veijalainen, who own the company. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed working in there and finding out more about also the funding structures in Finland and Nordic funding structures. We were working very international level, so always aiming to produce films that would resonate in audiences outside of Finland also.
Yeah. And for people who don't know, I mean, Finland has such a great documentary scene, on the international level, these films we see at festivals and nature documentaries, and also just the Finnish audience really supports, well, in normal years, really supports documentaries at the box office, which has always impressed me about Finland. So good stuff. And then Tufi. So can you tell us, I think if people zoom in, they can see there's a t-shirt behind you saying, "This is what a feminist looks like." And that reminds me of Tufi. This is a company that's founded by a group of women. And just from day one of hearing about this company, I was like, yes, this is great. So tell us a little bit about Tufi and how you joined them.
Well, I met Elli, who's my fellow producer and also a partner and one of the founding members of Tuffi Films. I met her at a documentary festival in Malmö at Nordisk Panorama, maybe 2014, and I had just come back to work after becoming a mom, and and we met, and we really got on well together, and started talking already, I think, then about, you know, of my interest of finding another company. And Kirsikka Saari, who's a screenwriter and director, and also a partner at Tuffi Films, we went to school together. So we've known each other for very long time. And the other two, Jenni Toivoniemi and Selma Vilhunen, who are writer directors, I didn't know them before.
And so, you know, is it safe to call it a feminist company? It's run by women and backs a lot of projects by women, but would you ever do a film by a man? That could be feminist if it's the right thing, I guess. Yeah.
Of course. We don't discriminate by, you know, because of gender. Yeah,
right. And what...
yeah, it's safe to call. And I mean, I'm proud to call Tufi a feminist company, definitely.
Good. I thought so.
Yeah.
And what, you know, what... I'm just wondering what it's like being, you know, how does it keep you motivated working with all these amazing women, especially, you know, and you've got sort of writer directors in the company and producers, and it sort of feels like a little collective almost. Why is that a good fit for you than something more like corporate or, you know, straightforward maybe?
Yeah, I have called Tufi, you know, what is it called? Like where they like a dressmakers company. So we are like handcraft people.
An atelier or something.
Atelier, yes. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, something like this. We really like getting our handprints in the projects. So that's definitely a big motivator for us. We all really love development work and developing and having this amazing talents within the company. I think it's such a strength for us, for all of us. We sort of very much support each other in our work.
Yeah. An amazing group of people working together. So your first fiction feature was a very good one, which is Stupid Young Heart by, as we've mentioned, Selma Vilhunen. And as you mentioned, you didn't know Selma before you joined Tufi. So, you know, why was she a filmmaker who interested you to work with her?
I didn't have a choice, but but other than that, I mean, I think she's an amazing filmmaker. I still admire her, you know, a lot, and I think she has very unique way of storytelling. She makes beautiful films. Her documentaries are really great, and I really liked them. So I knew these documentaries before I knew Selma, and then she was working with another company on her debut film, Little Wing, and this film is just beautiful as well. And I knew that she has this special touch with actors. I think that it's like really light kind of expression, but at the same time heavy and light. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, I mean, she's looking at deep themes, I think, but doing it in a way that never feels like oppressive or like, you know, it's still quite entertaining, her films. And yeah, and working a lot with young people, which is really not easy to find, especially the right young actors to play these roles, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, we did a lot of casting for Stupid Young Heart, and then in the end we were just unanimous that's who we wanted in the roles.
Yeah. And yeah, that was your first fiction big shoot. I mean, it's not a huge Marvel film, but it's a fiction shoot after you're moving from documentaries. What did you learn from the making of that film, or how was that different for you?
I learned so much. You know, documentaries are like little streams that, you know, go along quite slowly, and in the end they just go, you know, you have to you know, spend a lot of money. But this well, to me as a documentarist, the most shocking thing was how much money is going out of your account every week. It was like, oh my God. But yeah, but and also the amount of staff is so different from
Yeah.
documentaries. But in a way, it seems it was kind of easier because at least you have a script, whereas in documentaries you don't know what is going to happen. That's the beauty of documentaries as well. You can make plans and you can make a wish list, but you really don't know if you're gonna get it. But with fiction, you know, and with money,
You know how much money you have to spend, and
yeah,
maybe it doesn't go perfectly to plan, but you have to stick to some kind of plan.
exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about some other Tufi films. Games People Play. Why was that an interesting film for you to work on?
Oh, I read the script. It was just amazing script. I read it maybe already 2015 when, first things I did when I joined Tuffi Films was reading all these wonderful scripts, and it was just really nice. And yeah, Jenni's script was just amazing, and oh, I was just crying at the end of it, and I just knew that we have to make this film, and there was no other option basically. and and getting it financed was hard because always debut films are difficult, and in Finland the funding structure is that there is the Finnish Film Foundation and they have two consultants.
Hmm.
And in the television you have YLE, the Finnish broadcasting company. There was one person who decides, and then you have maybe two more channels that you can ask, and then you have distributors, but you don't have so many options to go to.
Yeah.
If somebody says no, and if Finnish Film Foundation says no, then
Everybody else is thinking, oh, this has been rejected. So yeah.
yeah, and you can't basically, but that's the biggest part of your financing plan. So it's like you're stuck. But then we had a change of consultants in the Finnish Film Foundation, and we got some creative media development money to the company as well. And I wasn't ready to give it up at any point. So I was determined that we have to make this film. This is going to happen. It was very clear to me that we're going to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what producers have to just keep the vision, keep pushing. And what about the TV series Carpe fucking Diem? Why was it interesting to move into TV? Did that feel very different for you?
It was, yeah, very different. So my parents were producing TV series, so mainly TV comedy. And so I knew a little bit, but of course not as a producer. Yes, I wasn't at Tufi when this concept was thought of and created, and but it was in the process, and we were finding a channel who would take it on when I joined Tufi. So we were talking to channels and pitching it, and we thought that we have to break into this series world, because this is where it's at the moment. Everybody's who is making films, they are also doing series. So we have to sort of teach ourselves how to do it and break into that world as well. So that was the idea behind it, but also to create series that is looking like us. It would be a series that would look like us and something that we want to watch.
And was that with YLE, or was that with a different broadcaster?
This was first with YLE, and then in the end they didn't take it, so we took it to another broadcaster.
Okay.
And now
so do you plan to do more TV now?
Yes, a lot. Yeah. So we've completed series 2 of Carpe fucking Diem now, and it's now airing at the moment. Excuse me. And then we are planning several more series and more high concepts, and also with international reach planned for these. So we have a political thriller that we are in script writing stage at the moment, and we have big big series that's sort of period drama, and we have based on book series that is based on book, for example, and many more.
Cool. And you also, Tufi made its first film for kids and families, which is Sihja, I'm probably saying it wrong, about a little fairy girl who's a naughty fairy, or sort of a rebellious fairy. What was interesting about moving into that kids space?
Yeah, we've done this Hobbyhorse Revolution was sort of a pre-teen kind of documentary, and we distributed ourselves. That was really rewarding. It was wonderful to get all the feedback from the young audiences. And then Stupid Young Heart is sort of teen audiences, not pre-teen, but fully like teen audience target group. And now Sihja, the Rebel Fairy, is for children from six years onwards, and their parents.
Yeah.
And their
so it's not been out yet because cinemas are still closed in Finland, but it's been to a festival. How did it go down, and what are the plans for? It's going to be out later in 2021, I hope.
Yes, we are planning it to open in Finland in the August, end of August this year, and it's already opening in Norway at the end of May, and in Belgium and the Netherlands it's opening also soon. I believe it's in beginning of June. Yeah, so it's opening before elsewhere, and then in Finland in August. At the moment we don't have the cinemas open fully, but it's looking like it's going to be in the next couple of weeks they will be open.
Yeah. And it's in some ways you're just making a film, but in some ways you're targeting a totally different audience, which is the kids, but also you have to appeal to their parents who probably have to go with them. Did you approach this film in a different way for this family market, or did it just feel kind of like normal but younger?
Yeah, definitely. We had to keep it sort of accessible to the parents, so humor. We have sort of not added, but we are very aware that there needs to be humor that's attracting parents as well, and the themes that would attract the parents. They are making the final choice whether they are going to buy the tickets for their family to go and see it. So this was very much what we were in our strategy when we were planning the film. But of course, it's not like it's decision making is not like strategy based in a way. Like creative processes are. We try to keep it free from this kind of sort of pressure, if you like. Of course, we are all, we are all company owners, so we have this interest of commercial success also. But we try not to feel too much pressurized because of that.
Yeah, and we should mention you're working with a great director, Marja, who has done lots of stuff for, very acclaimed films and TV shows as well.
Yeah, exactly. And Marja was Marja Pyykkä is the director, and she was a brilliant choice for the film. I'm really happy that she wanted to direct it. She hadn't done a children's film before, but she's a great director of action, and we wanted it to be sort of really action-packed film, if you like. So, and it would that, and also we wanted the film to feel real and not sort of like very fairy tale like.
Yeah, especially because you do have a fairy, but I've seen some of the film, and yeah, it's kind of cool and young, and it doesn't look like a fairy tale fairy thing.
Yeah. We wanted it to feel sort of that it's about a real fairy. It's real fairies.
Oh yeah,
like they're not cute.
And you talked about this a little bit about what it's like working in Finland, especially on the sort of financing side, that, there's a small group of people who can determine your fate. But on the other hand, I think you've got great support from the Finnish Film Foundation. You can access the Nordisk Film and TV Fund. So yeah, what do you see are the sort of the challenges of working in Finland, but also the good opportunities there?
Yeah, we have good. We have developed really good funding structures here, I think, and the Finnish audiences love Finnish films, so this is a big plus, of course. On the other hand, we have really small population, so we're about 5.5 million people altogether in Finland, and the language is really weird. So we have like we don't share similar language to anybody else, just Estonia, which is a very small population, and they all don't understand Finnish also. But yeah, that's a one battle that we are fighting, that how to find our audiences with this weird language, weird sense of humor, and very small language area. But we get support. We used to be part of the the Creative Europe, the list of countries that need some extra help because of such a small language area, but we are not anymore in that list. So
well, you get normal help. And what about sort of the international I guess perception of Finnish film? Because for so long it was just like, which Kaurismäki brother is it? And I think you guys, what you're doing at Tufi shows that's not the only thing coming out of Finland. Does it ever feel like people have a certain idea of what Finnish film is going to be?
I think people don't have any idea of what Finnish films could be, and I think that's an opportunity for us as well. We can really offer people some really pleasant surprises. And having lived in UK for such a long time, and people have never heard about Finland or really don't know where it is, or they don't know that there is Finnish language, I think our best opportunity is to offer people something that to give them pleasant surprise. Definitely. And there are so many good filmmakers in Finland. We have a really professional scene here, and it's a really real joy to be making films in Finland at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I encourage people who are watching this to check out. I mean, there's anything from Tova and Tom of Finland to Olimaki to New Voices to Dogs Don't Wear Pants that was in Cannes. I mean, it seems like a very exciting time as an outsider. And if any industry people are watching, get yourself an invite to the Finnish Film Affair, usually every September, and you can go networking in a sauna, unless that sounds like your idea of hell. But it's just brilliant, and you can meet everybody in Finland in one weekend. So what's coming up next? Selma has a new film, right?
Yeah, we're making Selma's new feature film this year. And then and it's called Four Little Adults, and we presented it in Berlin, and that was really nice experience. And we're still financing the film, so we'll greenlight it in the autumn. And then we are working on Jenni's second feature film as well, and we plan to shoot that next year. And that's also in financing, and both are international co-productions.
Cool. What's Four Little Adults about?
It's about love in the modern day, and we are questioning about the little environment, the small space that our society gives love in today's world, and what happens if it doesn't fit this small space.
Interesting. I look forward to that. I always like Selma's vision of the world. And I always ask some of the same questions to end. So do you have any pet peeves on set? Things you hate people doing on set?
Oh, maybe mobile phones. Oh, I don't like it.
Yeah,
Just put it away.
Yeah, put your phone away unless you're doing continuity or something. That's okay. Yeah, good tip. And what do you think people misunderstand about what film producers do?
People think that producers have the money, you know, that we decide, you know, who gets to make films. But it's, you know, in a way, maybe yes, but you know, we are working together with the teams to find the financing. I think it's more like that. But people who don't work in the industry think that, oh, so you are giving the money out, and like, oh, I wish.
I'm begging for the money. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think that's very true. You're not the first person to say that one, and I hope people start to understand that's the film producers don't just have stacks of cash and decide who to give it to. Maybe some do. No, not even big Hollywood guys have stacks of cash of their own. But also film producers do so much more creative than just the money. So thank you, Venla, for joining us today. It's been really interesting to hear about your career. And best of luck to all the women at Tufi Films. We can't wait to keep watching all these amazing films that you make.